What's up, ninjas? What is up? What is up? Coming back at you with another video. And the reason I'm making this video right now, actually, I just finished with my day and I was passing by the church over here, which I took care of a few days ago. Looking good over here, looking good. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and stop and make this video since I haven't had a chance to. And I was originally thinking, well, maybe I'll do it over this weekend, like maybe tomorrow or Sunday, or maybe even possibly first of next week. Because originally they were telling me Tiny is not going to be ready till first of next week. Well, just got the call a little while ago, and they were like, Sensei? I said, yes, sir. They were like, hey, Tiny's ready, man. Ready to rock and roll. We drove it for, I don't know, 30, 40 miles, 50 miles, something like that. It's in tip-top shape, better than ever. It's brand new, basically. You got about 85,000 miles on the body and basically a brand new motor, which I will go ahead when I get Tiny back and we'll go over everything and I'll show you exactly what went wrong and what was done and, you know, all the cost that it took to getting it back in tip-top shape. But in this video, I wanted to go ahead and tell you what had happened and how did I end up with this truck. So this is another rental. So if you remember last video I made for you ninjas, I had that Ram and I was basically saying, hey, I'm getting ready to go return this Ram and go pick up Tiny. Well, that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly what I did. I went ahead and dropped off the Ram and picked up Tiny. They were telling me it was ready to rock and roll. And I picked it up and I hit the highway. And when I hit the highway and picked up some speed, guess what? That's right. Yeah, it kicked. Check engine light came on and I lost power. Basically, it was the message that was sending to me on the dash there was saying, you know, reduced engine power. It didn't shut off on me this last time, but it definitely, I lost that power. And basically it didn't allow me to go past a certain amount, past a certain speed. So I called him instantly while I was already on the highway and I'm in the process of turning around. And I was like, hey man, I thought you said this was fixed. And I told him the check engine light came on. I told him basically exactly that, what the message was telling me. And he's like, hey, can you go ahead and come on back right away while the check engine light's on? Because I promise you, Nick, we drove that thing for, I don't know how many miles, like 40, 50 miles. And there was no messages, no nothing. And I guess my luck, I took it on the highway and the message came on. I was like, that's exactly what I'm doing, man. I was like, that is exactly what I'm doing. And I was very frustrated just the fact with the situation, right? Because I just returned the Ram and then I picked up Tiny and now I still don't have a functional truck. So anyway, I got back to the dealership. They immediately hooked it up on the computer to read the codes and to figure out, you know, what the codes were. And at that point, I was basically told, we got to keep Tiny, man, because there's a lot more issues here going on that's showing us now than what it did before. So in tomorrow's video, I will definitely go ahead and share all the details, like I said, and what actually happened and all the cost and yada, yada, yada. But in this video, I just wanted to tell you that I ended up returning that Ram. And then when I found out I had to get another rental, they said, hey, do you want the Ram back or do you want something else? At that particular day, they had more options, I guess, than that first time when I picked up the Ram. And I said, well, if all you have is that Ram, then I'll take the Ram. I'm not, you know, whatever at this point. But if you have something else, like a Ford maybe, I would definitely prefer that. So this is what they ended up giving me. This is a 2020. Let me see, it's on my keys. Rachia. It is a 2020, yep, Ford F350. And man, can you tell a difference from the F250 to the 350 for sure. But it's got the same motor. It's the 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel. And it is four-wheel drive, just like Tiny. 4-door. It's a really nice truck. It is the XLT, so it's like one step above Tiny. So it's got some nice features that Tiny does not have, which in my next truck, I will make sure I go at least with the XLT. But like the backup camera, for example, a little bit of extra chrome stuff here and there. But other than that, it's a good truck. But anyway, I just finished with my day, and that is what's been going on. But Tiny has had a lot of work, ninjas. A lot of freaking work. So actually, I've never even popped the hood. Here's the inside on this thing, which I'm assuming just because it's an F350 doesn't mean anything like that it's different with the motor. But yeah, it's the same motor as Tiny. Exact spin image. Except the filter there, because I ended up changing it from the factory. But so the only thing, the F350s and the F250s that I'm seeing that's different is, because the power is there, right? It's the same transmission, same motor. Yeah. Is, I think, heavy dutier brakes or brake pads and rotors, and just from my understanding, and you guys are welcome to correct me if I miss anything or if I'm not including something, just the frame. The frame itself, I think, is just so much beefier. It's just so much more of a stronger truck. I think these F350s are really good for like goosenecks and things of that nature. But anyway, I really have been enjoying this truck. It reminds me of Tiny, and I'm liking it. You know, if and when the time comes when I will be getting another truck, but maybe I'll look into F350s. I don't know. Well, prices on trucks right now are just kind of crazy anyway, but I wouldn't mind having an F350, but a 250 for me will do. And yeah, so that's what's been going on. But Tiny had a huge situation going on. I've been sharing some of it on Instagram, and I've been sharing some of it on YouTube, on the community page. If you guys want to go over there and check it out, if you haven't, they had to take the whole cab off, which is a huge job. And I'll go ahead and tell you the cost, because we can go into next video when I get Tiny back into the details of actually what happened and what they had to change. But the cost to repair Tiny, now there were several other issues, that minor things that I just haven't had time, and you know, it wasn't really that important right then and there. But now that I had to take it in for this, because it was dying on me, you know, it would just shut off in the middle of the road, I went ahead and turned it over to them for everything. So if a lot of you ninjas will remember, a few months ago, I want to say even like beginning of this season, if you change it from drive to reverse, or from reverse to park, or from park to reverse and park to drive, you know what I mean? If you're just changing the shifter, it would do like a little clunk, you know, it'll do like a little hit. And I thought it was one of the transmission mounts, you know, and that's, I think, what a lot of you ninjas were suggesting that it might be as well. But it wasn't. It was something actually a little bit bigger than that. And so they ended up repairing that, replacing a part, and we'll go over it tomorrow, or whenever I make this next video, I mean. So they went ahead and did that. And then, of course, the big deal of why it was cutting off on me. But the total, with the transmission and having to take the cab off and doing what needed to be done, it was about $20,000 in repairs. Yikes, right, I know. And $20,000, so, but the way they told me is, but Nick, I'm like, don't give me that, but Nick, tell me what happened. And they're like, you basically got, because Tiny has 85,000 miles, for those of you who may not know. And they were telling me, Tiny's body's got 85,000 miles, but his motor is practically brand new. I'm like, okay. So I'm excited to get it back, and hopefully it's fixed, and I don't have to take it back for anything else, at least to that nature. I mean, you know, things can happen with any vehicle, ninjas. I don't care what brand you have. I don't care. It doesn't matter what brand you got. I mean, you know, it just doesn't matter. They will all, something eventually will go. Now look, we're going to go more into specs and things in this next video when I get Tiny back. But, you know, diesel trucks in general, you know, are pricier to work on, no doubt. But they're a lot longer lasting. And one thing I want to remind you ninjas, because this is what they were telling me, they're like, Nick, your motor really didn't give out on you. It's still a really good motor. It's the components that are attached and, you know, making the motor run is what gave out. So, you know, in my opinion, which we'll go over in the next video more in detail, you know, do I still think diesel's the way to go? Or is gas burner maybe a better option? I just know one thing right now, and I can go ahead and share this with you right now. Gas burners, you're just going to go through so much fuel, especially when you're towing a lot of weight and trailers, dump trailers. You know, in this business, you know, you do mulch and things like that. You're just towing constantly, especially in my area where you got a bunch of hills and things. I mean, it's just trucks down here in the south are working a whole lot harder than anywhere else when it comes to at least the hills and mountains and things of that nature. I know up north, you know, you got the snow and all that. I know trucks take a big beating on that. So anyway, it's been quite interesting. I'm looking forward to getting my truck back, and we'll go over everything, what they did. But $20,000, holy cow, man. 20 grand just to, whew, that's pricey. Anywho, I did bring the 36 with me today. I needed it for a yard. I have another yard that I'm gonna hopefully get to tomorrow or Sunday, and I need the 36 for that as well. So I am actually finishing up my mowing season officially next week. So I am concluding the month of October next week, and a lot of my yards, now I do have several yards that kind of go year round, and a lot of them I do leaf cleanups and things, but the ones that I don't do any leaf cleanups because they don't really have any leaves and things of that, they do fall off, which is going to free up a heck of a lot of time for me, and I'll be able to get back on the videos and get back on track with that. And I'm excited. I'm really excited that I got to finish this season, man. That's crazy. Solo too. But yeah, I'm kind of ready for the mowing to stop and get my aerations out the way. So I'll be picking up some seed and all that stuff and get that scheduled up for after next week. And then just basically from there on, it's mulch, shrubbery, leaf cleanups, and any kind of side jobs that come my way. I got 2 jobs right now that are pending, waiting on me, and it's just planting a bunch of trees. I have an auger, but it's not working, and I don't know why. It hasn't worked in a while, so I'll have to go rent one for that. But anywho, I just wanted to give you a little update. That's why I am in this truck, and that's what happened. Tiny had to go back, but hopefully tomorrow when I pick it up, that will be it. So hope you ninjas have been doing good. Thank you for tuning in for another one, and stay tuned. Like I said, after I finish next week, we'll be back on track with the videos. Once all these yards fall off, man, you have no idea how much time it's going to free up. It's just, it is what it is. I've just had to do what I had to do, going solo and just kicking tail every day. And yeah, it's been an interesting year, interesting season to say the least. But it's been a good one, and it feels really good to be done with it. So anywho, all right, like I said, hope all y'all been doing good, and I hope we all have a wonderful fall season, and I'll see you on the next video, hopefully with Tiny. Take care.